Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time or you're fairly new watching my videos, I really love and I'm really passionate about talking about self-care and self-love as it pertains to mothers, particularly single mothers and women of color, just because I feel like we have a very different experience as it pertains to the culture, representation, stigma, stereotypes, and the likelihood of us being able to, quite honestly, climb about the mud in a sense and better our lives and not perpetuate. I wouldn't call them generational curses, but I do consider them just something that tends to plague our families and our communities more than other groups of women. And I don't know, like I just feel like motherhood is just one of those things. It's just like, and so what? But yet it seems to create, or it can create, limitations and barriers because we are so dedicated to our children. We do know what we now have to do. We are willing to do it and more, but sometimes we're not able to regain the footing that we had, and we're burnt out, we're overworked, and the partnership dynamic does not always come into our lives, quite honestly. And also too, with just the current times and the state of this, that, and the other, in a lot of areas, it's just not, single moms just aren't able to make enough to, again, set themselves up so that they can be comfortable and not work as hard, partner or no partner. And this video, I wanted to talk about how I kind of had to figure that all out. I do not vouch for the old way of doing it where you stay no matter what. Would I stay with someone who isn't, or would I be with someone who, he's not my best friend, he's not super sexy, he's not, super romantic and like a fairy tale. But if he was handling business, if he was my partner in a sense of like doing what I believe a man is supposed to do, kind of going back into the traditional roles and things like that, I wouldn't rely on him to be the all of the things that sometimes I feel like Hollywood pushes, because some men just aren't wired that way. Some men are just so out of tune. Now, you can encourage them in unspoken ways to be what you need them to be, but it wouldn't be the basis of my choosing a partner, especially with young children. So he would be stepping into the stepfather role. That's just me. That's just me. Does it sound glamorous? Does it sound like a fairy tale love story? No. But it's time, sometimes real life, like the reality of what it's looking like. I use the example of someone who is just super focused and hyper vigilant and in his masculine. So he's not like woo woo woo, you know what I mean? Like tapped into that feminine softness, all the fun stuff. That's me. That's my job. I'm thinking about the flowers and the decorating and the soft and the this, that, and the other, and making things pretty and quality time and family game night. That's me. That's what I would draw out of him because I'm just moving like that. Military men, police officers, men in really high stress positions, or even honestly the way that Black men have been kind of just psychologically and emotionally turned off in a lot of ways by no fault of themselves. They just have this edge to them that you just have to come from a place of compassion and knowing that like he just may not have that in him, but not that he's not willing to take care of you and want to make you happy and be that man for you. And I think I'm just a little bit more, it's easier for me to understand because that's how my father was. I saw a lot of men of color growing up have that aspect to them, but they were doing everything. Were they super, always just life is peaches and cream, and you know what I mean? I remember to buy you flowers, and the world is a beautiful place. No, because they had a lot of things of their own that they had on their backs, but their family was also riding on their backs, and they had no problem elevating their wives, elevating their children, and doing what they had to do. So what I was strategically and valuing when I was dating was not all the frou-frou stuff, point blank period. What I also did not get caught up in doing was being a victim, being bitter, being like, or blaming the fact that men were the result of my children and my having to decide or choose me, choose myself, choose my own happiness, choose my own purpose and passion and fulfillment beyond settling for a dynamic that did not work. So there's a difference there. So once I felt like I needed to remove myself from cohabitating with my ex-boyfriend, I did everything I had to do and needed to do to be the woman that I wanted to be, regardless of whether a man ever came back into my life, or I would allow a man to come back to my life to show me what he had to present to me and my children that was important to me and in alignment with what I valued, my lifestyle and my standard, okay? I think it's so easy to, if you're already working on your new self, your new life, your new love language, your new everything, it's so easy to then get confused with the societal pressure of being picked, being his, having a man in your life, what that looks like, if it's Instagrammable, if it's, future bae, this, that, and the other, future this, that, and the, all the, again, back to the fairy tale stuff, to where you're not being honest with yourself and looking at the man and the qualities and if he is a good fit for you and your children. Is he going to be what you need him to be, or is he going to be your equal in a sense of like, okay, you never were able to leave one career or job. There's a difference there. A job is something you're doing just to get by. A career is something that you've invested in. You can see yourself long term. There's a great balance. There's great benefits. There's everything you need it to be. So if you're so happy that the first Joe Smo comes along that's got something in between his legs, that looks like a man, talks like a man, walks like a man, but isn't elevating your life, isn't taking you and your children to a new level, then I would have some concerns. It's so easy to get into that, like, oh yeah, he's there. He's that energy that I am not, but he's not taking over the responsibilities that a woman shouldn't always have to carry. That is what a real man does, in my viewpoint, because I am traditional. To give you an example, again, not that a man comes along and you just quit working, you become a stay-at-home mom if you don't want to, you start doing this whole submissive stuff, you stop, start putting him first and in his shadow, and, Now you have no money of your own. Now you have no passions and purpose of your own. Now you're just his wife, his fiance. And there's danger in being just his girlfriend. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about where, again, him being in your life has helped you jump leaps and bounds. Now your money can be focused on, again, pouring back into you, pouring back into your children, pouring back into your home, pouring back into your education, pouring back into the things that you love doing, the things that, make you feel good and be pretty. Heck, he might even add to that, and now you got a little allowance. Come on now. Real men aren't threatened by that. Real men also don't take that as an opportunity to control or abuse you. Real men value the home. I get it. Some cities and parts of the country are just, renting is just what it is. But even if you're renting, he is taking over that rent. And it is a space that allows you to move how you want to move, decorate how you want to decorate, and have enough space for you and your family and future family, if that's what you aspire. It's not always about pitting one way or against another, but and it's not about oh, this is $1 million man, oh, he's a white collar, da 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 da. I have so much respect for men that are just hardworking and giving, generous, open-hearted, humble. Just, I can't stress it generous enough, because these men are not the type of men where you see these horror stories where you go on a date and he's like, yeah, so you're going to split this, right? Or he's like, yeah, you Ubered here, right? You know what I mean? You're going to Uber back home. Or fine with you opening up your wallet, fine with you, paying for your own stuff and all this nonsense. Like, I've never experienced that. But I also too worked on my own self-respect and my own self-worth, so that it's almost like I can't even call that into my life anymore. Like the bums, the manipulators, the users, the scam artists, and I'm so repelled because I love myself enough not even to be distracted by all of that. And I think anyone has that power in their life to do that. So let me get back to some standards. So there are some blue collar workers that they have their own businesses. They have, they have set things up to where, they're still making the money that can command a family and a household. Don't let that fool you. And they don't need your money. They don't want to see your money. It would be an ego kill. It would be an insult for him for you to be like, trying to overstep him in a lot of ways. They take offense to that. They want to be the man. They want to be appreciated. They want to be recognized for how they can move, and they just don't do that. They also aren't threatened by any co-parenting dynamics that you have, because you have already done the work where there's no drama. You don't need to be like, or you're not like, oh, my baby daddy, this and the other. He's jealous. He's controlling. He's still in the picture. He's still all in the background. They don't do drama. They don't do, also too, a woman who just still isn't where she wants to be because she's also too been working hard. He's gonna see that, really be like impressed by that, because he's like, yeah, I know what it takes to make it and take care of your children, but I got you now. And you don't keep working in that energy. You don't keep moving in that energy. Why? Because now he's there. And so you never miss an opportunity to be like, baby, thank you so much. When he comes to your home, okay, again, he also too respects your timing, being patient, allowing you to slowly let your guard down as you vet him, as you make sure he is who he says he is and he does what he says he would do. And you slowly, allow him to do things for you. So I was going to use the example of, you'll be able to thank this man for taking out your trash or putting your trash on the street. You'll be able to thank this man for, hey baby, what you doing today? Okay, I had a full day of like, I gotta get my oil change. I'm gonna check these tires. Don't worry about it. I got you. And then he's gonna bring it back on a full tank. It's the little things that he will love to do for you that is what a man does, okay? Once you get more serious, again, he's gonna start taking more and more and more of the financial load. Not because you're a victim and you just haven't been able to do anything and you're still, like blah, 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 blah. You're a complainer and you're not a self-starter and you weren't able to get a footing. That doesn't get us anywhere. I've seen little clips of moms like, oh yeah, he better take care of me. He better take care of these kids. That's the wrong energy. There's a difference between knowing your worth and being overly and bitchily entitled. The bitch thing is very strong, yes, because bitches get respect, but bitches don't act like bitches. They're just very firm in their expectations and their standards. So I have considered myself doing that shift, yes, but I wasn't mouthy with it. If a man wanted to take me out, I would politely but very firmly say, okay. Once he got to the point that he knew I had children, because I knew he was serious and he wasn't just trying to play games and hit it and quit it, without even saying, I don't sleep around, I just was like, I'll just use this as an example of as far as the exchange goes. He says, I'd love to see you again. When are you available? Well, can I let you know? I would love to see you too. I had a great time, but I do have young children and I will need to get a babysitter. So if you could help me out with that, I could see when she's available and I'll let you know. No one has ever in a million years, you trying to use me. You trying to run game on me. Look, I'm not trying to take all that on. They don't do that. Anything to have another opportunity to impress you, to show you a great time, to see you smile, to hear you laugh, to give them a chance. Why? Because you know the woman that you are, you know your beauty, you know your strength, you know what you've got going for yourself. And he sees that you see that. He sees that you know that. Your children are just icing on the cake. Once he starts catching feelings for you, he's going to be like, I would love to get to know your children because they have to be just as beautiful as you are. You seem like a great woman. You probably even better mom. Instead of sitting at dinner like, oh my God, like, these kids, bills, drama, my baby daddy, like why we broke up. And, I never wanted to be a single mom. Like, I just want to be married. Like, you don't come with that kind of baggage because you're not carrying that baggage because you've already come to terms with it is what it is. You're where you're at, and that doesn't mean anything. It's not going to stop you from living your best life and having your best experience. Money ain't a thing. You believe that money will always find you and flow to you for you and your children. You have more than enough. There's enough in the world. There's enough in the universe. There's enough money in America to trickle down to you so that you can have a good time, have nice things, have luxury, have comfort, have everything you need. And you also believe that men aren't predators, men aren't users, men aren't scammers. Men always, always, always value and appreciate and are always happy to have a woman in their life that brings peace, joy, compatibility, laughter, beauty, and all the things that you are, that they aren't. They're the rough and tough and hard one. They love your softness. They love your positivity. They love that you're nurturing and motherly and they like that's just so attractive to them. So you saved yourself first. You're working on yourself first before you're out here just with your thumb out on the highway, like looking for a good man to take care of me and these kids. That's not the energy we're moving in at all. It never gets us anywhere. And I feel like some of those women that come off like that end up having these bums on their couches that like eat up their kids' snacks and like work just as many hours as you do at these dead-end jobs, and they don't bring anything to enhance your life or to truly support you. They're like keeping you right here. And it's not cute, it's not good. All for the sake of, a hashtag, saying you have someone filling up your bed, having that body, but not having a man. They see your desperation. They see that you like really, really, really can't be alone. And so you'll take anything. And it's just not good. It's better to be alone. It's better to it's better to be a single mom and figuring it out and taking pride in that. Now, let me correct and clarify that does not mean that you're out here like, I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man. These men can't do what I do. I'm the boss bitch. I'm the one that makes this thing. You can't even touch me. You can't even, what do I need you for? That's not the energy either. You're just confidently navigating life, fulfilled and hopeful that when Mr. Right comes along, you'll be ready. He's going to see that and just be like, damn, wow, like, look at her. She's definitely handling her own. And I want to add to that. I want to elevate you. I want to ease it up off of you so that you can work part-time, so you can work on your passion projects, so that you can go back to school or be in school full-time. You're doing it all. Wow. You're working and going to school? Men, it's so much easier for them to pour into you because A, you've already poured into yourself, and B, men are so one track. All they have to do is get up, shave, and work a job and pay their bills. They've got all this extra free time. They might have their little hobbies. He might like to go play basketball and golf or whatever. But the rest of the time, he would love to just like cut the grass or hire someone to do it, or tinker around the house, or you need him to do something, or what do you want to do with the kids? And I've seen that over and over and over again. And these were men that I didn't necessarily like end up seriously dating or wanted to marry, but they were still good people. And even from a friendship standpoint, even if I made sure that there was no like, not going to work out, but you're a great person, they still were loving, giving, encouragers, supporters, and just loved. And I loved having them in my life, and they loved being a part of my life. No bad experiences. When I made that shift within myself, that's when I started calling in a very different type of man. And when I say calling in, I just mean, again, what I was attracting, like a magnet. It wasn't like I was going out here like, oh, I'm looking for a man on dating apps, sitting at the bar, twirling my straw, looking, I would just do me. I would just go to work. I would just go to the store. I would just go places that I liked. And I would always meet these really interesting men. And they were very well established, and they were very giving. Very giving. Why? Because I was giving and loving and supportive to myself first. I cannot stress that enough. You save yourself. We aren't sitting here twiddling our thumbs, feeling sorry for ourselves because we have kids. And with kids, you can't navigate like you want to navigate because all your money goes to daycare and school supplies and clothes and shoes and camp and tutors and all of that. And you feel so drained because, you have no time in a day for yourself because homework and pick them up, drop them off, and work and clean, and you're going to make it and you're going to be okay. No, it's not easy, but my stomach's grumbling, but having a positive outlook, changing your perception about it, changing your viewpoint about it, deciding that life can be sweet for you and your kids, deciding that you can have it all, deciding that, it's not so bad. Let's get some perspective here, because so many other things are going on in the world. Not that you don't feel pain, not that you haven't been hurt. Absolutely. But you're not going to let that be your identity. You're not going to let that be the thing that holds you back from a future tomorrow. A future tomorrow. You never know how things can happen. I've seen little posts and things like that, and I just love to see the love in the air, because when you start prioritizing yourself, these girls get out here, the women, and they're like, I was with a bum, or the father of my children, who just piddled and dragged his feet and played games, no ring, all these years later, all these kids later, nothing, no progression, no allowing me to be in my feminine and to focus on me. No support there. But yet, when I started doing me, and then a real man notices that you noticed you get the ring in 6 months. He's really doing things to show you, not this, to show you that he's serious, putting you on his stuff, setting you and your kids up, helping you, supporting you, being there for you. It's not always the money, but the money is nice. The money helps. We all need the money to do what we needed to do. You can't eat kindness. You can't eat promises. You can't use any of that as credit in this world. So let's keep it real. Call me a gold digger. Call me, whatever you want to, but I'm going to make sure that I have the funds and what I need. The funds to do what I need, to pay for the essentials in life. And a real man is going to gladly step up to the plate and take on his woman, because he knows that that's a reflection of him. And your money is your money. You can't explain it. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why they're wired that way. I don't know why. You can spend all day blue in the face debating this whole setup, but yet it's a thing. And there's so many examples of this time and time again, where it's like, there are success stories. I'm not talking you're selling your soul, marrying somebody just for their money, and you morph into their shadow and he controls the money and owns you. I'm not talking about that. And for the ones that jump to those conclusions, they're the ones that really don't even believe in the first like opportunity that there is balance, and that there are men that and women that this works. How it works, why it works, I don't know. It's just the way it is. They're the ones that, like, okay, you can just see them. Like, so let's talk about your life. You know what I mean? They'll try to tear it down so easily, so quickly. I'm not talking about, like that type of dynamic. So you got to work on yourself first. You have to be pouring into yourself and your life first. Then working on your mindset, working on your victim mentality, it's all their fault. Oh my God. You're working on all of that. You're releasing all of that. No one wants to be burdened with that. Yes, you can lean on your new man. Absolutely. You and your kids and your finances and everything else, but not in a negative way where, he's getting into some drama. He's getting into, your mental instability because you don't have enough self-love, and you don't have enough wherewithal to give yourself permission to let it go, let it go. As you wouldn't want to jump into something where he's still complaining about his ex-wife and how he's on child support or blah, 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 blah. You have nothing to do with that. And also, too, well, I digress. I just wanted to break that down, and clarify that for anyone that just doesn't know that self-care and self-love, self-permission, self-preservation, Self is at the root of everything new flowing into your life. It isn't about the goal is to just get a man that's got some footing in the world and takes you away from it all and makes it all better. It's not about that. That is the icing, another icing on the cake. I've talked about that. Like this, you got to get your layers. You've got to still bake the cake. You've still got to do the work. And then the sprinkles and all the stuff on the top is a result of you truly gifting yourself with what, if nothing else, you just dream it and feel it like, yes, I'm there. Even if you open your eyes and you're in a 900 square feet efficiency that you're able to manage, afford, and is getting you to the next level in life. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in it. No shame. No shame. No shame. If he moves into the third bedroom and you're still in the master bedroom and you're figuring it out and you're coming up with a plan and you were like, I am not going to let this season define my future because he is not stepping up to the plate. There's no shame in that. There is no shame in it. If you had to move back home with your parents or in with a girlfriend, with your kids, just to get it together, figure it out. Because you're deciding to choose you. Because he is not elevating you and taking you to another level. There's no shame in that. Again, you have to decide where you're pulling the plug on this thing. But having kids, becoming a single mom, for whatever reason, I was widowed. And then I left the last one because I was like, I will not settle. I will not be a victim. I will not, live in these conditions where I don't trust where the money's going. I cannot raise you. I'm not going to raise a man-child. I'm not going to keep having to tell you what to do. I'm not going to fight you and argue with you. I can't, let you be the leader if you're going to F it up and have this house on fire? Hell no. Was that my mistake? Could I have vetted him better and really looked at okay, let's talk about the money. Let's talk about these hard things. Absolutely. So I have to take responsibility in my role in choosing a bad apple. Some of us can't even do that. It's not always their fault. You ignored red flags. You saw things that you didn't really want to, maybe they'll go away. You knew that he had certain tendencies, or even when they came up, you didn't address them. You didn't ask clarifying questions. You didn't really make sure, is this something that is going to be like a deal breaker for me? What are your deal breakers? Where do you draw the line? What do you need first? Now, let's focus on that because let me tell you, last point, I had to get really clear with my own damn money. Once I left him, okay, now it's time for me to look at my own books, budget, finances, where I'm bleeding out, where I'm not being smart, where I'm wasting money. Okay, you know what I mean? Where am I not, focusing on what's important? Where am I dropping the ball with my self-love and my self-care? Where are my priorities? Where are my boundaries? Where are my standards? I had none. I didn't know who I was as a woman. So 4 or 5 years later, after doing some inner work, working on myself, figuring it out, working 3 jobs, working 1 job, but all the mistakes, all the learning that I had to do. And I was, in an emotional standpoint, yes, I was able to slowly ease back into dating, but I was doing it very, very differently. Very, very differently. And I was very strategic. And even a few times where I thought, this might be it. No. I reeled it back in. And I was not going to be out here making a fool of myself, jumping the gun, claiming these dudes, talking about this is the love, this is No, I knew the next man y'all saw me with, real time, was going to be the one. I am not going to be out here claiming them like that. I need the ring. I need the house. I need the all of the stability that comes with true partnership that is legally recognized. Those were my standards. I don't care if you're shorter than me. I don't care if you're purple. I don't care if you have kids, have an ex-wife. I didn't care about any of that. I was looking at character. I was looking at his values. I was looking at his work ethic. I was looking at his heart, his patience for children. I was looking at all these things. And as soon as I saw something that was like, thank you, next, I was able to do that. I don't recommend that for everyone because all women don't have the bandwidth to juggle that and their self-worth and not get caught up and get in their feelings, because I was on a mission. I wasn't like, oh my God, this didn't work out. I also wasn't losing myself in these men. I also wasn't giving 110%. Half of them I didn't even sleep with. You know what I mean? Like you're able to, like, I'm doing what I need to do to protect myself. And my body has nothing to do with making sure you are who I need you to be and making sure you are who you say you are. That has nothing to do with my money, my body, meeting my children, and coming into my home. So let's be clear about, again, the parameters of how I explored my own new desires through dating, smart dating, getting to know people, getting to know myself, and then cutting it off. I had a man that I dated for 2 years plus. He saw my children maybe 3 times, 2 or 3 times. I said 3 times. And he owned a house. First he was renting, but I knew he was buying a house. So I liked that. He bought the house and he had a nice car. He had a career. He had a degree. Our personalities got along very well. He was very kind, but he was not a provider. We had great times. But I was like, I'm not going to keep chasing you and trying to pull that out of you and make you into that. And he's a great person. Great man. Just not was for me. Now someone else would take him and be like, that's okay. I'll pay the bills, just for the sake of having him as a companion. That was not what I was willing to do. We also did not break up with any drama. I didn't have to give him a speech, a talk, nothing. I could call him right now and he would check in on me. Hey, how's it going? Again, I do not recommend that to everyone because you may not be emotionally stable enough to like deal with that, like shoulda, woulda, coulda, because you can't make someone something. That's why I'm talking about being realistic about, I see what it is. And it's not changing. So let's not try to waste time with like holding on to potential when it comes to someone else and you deciding if you should bring them into your life. Point blank, period. It does not take long to see someone for what they are and believe them. Believe who they're showing you to be. If a man is so pressed to explore you physically, he is not the one. You also have these men, if they really are true and honest and good, they're not even going to take it there. They might say, let's say you're on your 10th date and you start kissing and he's like really into you and you stop. He's going to be like, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. I'll wait, like whenever you're ready, but I am really, really into you. Of course, I think you're gorgeous, but I totally respect that. That's all he's going to say. He's going to be like, you let me know when you're ready, because they're always ready. That's the kind of difference I'm talking about. Not a man that blows up, gets mad, or what the fuck have we been doing this for? Or what the hell? Like, like, what have I, what is this, some 90-day stuff? They're not going to disrespect you like that. They're not going to care about your past. They're not going to care about how many children you have. They're not going to care that you're a receptionist or you work in healthcare or, whatever. They're not going to, they're going to be like, damn, how can I alleviate that for you? They're going to be more concerned that like you work 3 jobs if that's where you're at. And as you get more serious, he's going to be already thinking about the future and where you fit into his world and how he can take care of you. and your kids. I'm telling you right now, a real man knows what he wants, when he wants it, and how much he's willing to do. And he will show you and not tell you, he's going to show you. He's going to talk about his plans. He's going to talk about his future. And he's going to be willing to do anything and everything to make you feel comfortable in that. So, but first, you love and work on yourself. I can't stress that enough. It's not Cinderella moments. It's like no. You get you're or Snow White or Rapunzel, like where you just sit around and you're just a damsel in distress all the time and you have nothing for yourself. Nothing. I can't sit in here in leggings and a t-shirt and a bonnet feeling sorry for myself because I broke up with my baby daddy. But a man is going to come and just do it all one day. No, I still had to get up. I still had to get dressed. I still had to put my makeup on. I still had to work. And now I don't. Peace. I hope this video made sense. And until the next video, thank you. Bye.